Morning. Well, it's still morning. I want to talk about two industries that are going to be ousted and destroyed. They're two of the oldest industries known to the human race. They are the forefathers of unions and workers' rights, and they're going to piss you off. And that's farming and fishing. The very, very first union on this planet was the National Union of Farmers. And that's what they do. Now, a lot of you, and even some of my lefty friends are like, no. Remember, unions, workers' rights. These guys, 6 of them in Puddle were shipped off to Australia just for asking for better rights. These are all what these are. When I meet someone who goes on about the environment and things like this and starts slagging off farming and fishing, I ask them this question. Was you raised in a city or major town or out in the countryside? And if they say city or town, the conversation is finished because they haven't got a clue. I was raised in the countryside. I was raised around farms. Where I come from in Essex, it was more cattle, most of the farms around where I were actually like wheat and barley, the bread you eat, and stuff like that, and the beer you drink, and all that sort of stuff. Well, just ignore that, which you benefit from, wheat, barley, all of that, rape, all of that was grown around where I come from in Essex. Good soil for that, and that's why you can't. Take a meat farmer, a poultry farmer, and make him into a crop farmer. Because one of the things you seriously need, is good land. If your land is rubbish, it's like Somerset. Why is Somerset the breadbasket of the country? Because it's got underneath it loads of water. You used to road to Glastonbury Tor. So that's why it's good. It's good for nutrients. Kent's good for barley because it's chalky. So you have to have the right soil to grow it, or you don't. And if everyone became a crop farmer, the money would go down. And I mean seriously. Okay, so we've got that point over. Now, I've got no problem with farming and fishing. I eat meat and I eat fish. And I know a lot of my vegan friends and other friends will be going, oh! Well, it's the same people. If you look at it, you can't go, oh, he's a crop farmer, he's okay, he's a meat farmer, he's a disgusting pig. You can't. They're all the same. They're all farmers. And same with fishing. Yes, they live over fish. Yes, we do over farm. Yes, we do all of that stuff. I'm going to ask you a serious question. Would you do it? I did it for 6 months. It's brutal, mate. One of the highest suicide rates is farmers. Okay, I worked on a farm with I think there was 650 acres or 350? There's a lot of land. So your phone's gone down and you've crashed your tractor. How'd you contact anybody? Bingo, yeah? Seriously, the amount of danger that's around farming is incredible. And mental health and addiction is very high. And same with fishermen. You fall over that boat, it's going to take 3 miles to get round to find you. Do you understand? It's not just getting out of the clothes you're in, it's getting you warm. I've nearly died of hypothermia. It's quite pleasant, actually. You just go to sleep. You just drift off. And when it kicks in, seriously, when you got hypothermia shock as well. These are. So what do they? Right. Let me explain another story to you. I lived with a couple called Ian and Bron Samuels in the Gilead Foundation. They're a Christian community. And one day, across the road, up in Jacobstoke, out on the other side of Oakhampton, Noel Edmonds moved in. And he didn't like us. He didn't like them. So he wrote to Exeter Council to get us shut down and removed. And they sent a letter to Ian, and it basically says the Samuel family have been farming here for over 350 years plus. Ian believes Bronze Age Neolithic man he's related to was farming there. All they've done is farming. That's all they've done. Within a 10-mile radius is his two brothers who farm, and his dad's with him managing it. What would he do? He doesn't know anything. And it's the same in fishing as well. I've got friends who can't live in the village their family's been living for the last 500-600 years in, because they can't afford to live there. They can't afford to buy a house there because of city people coming down from London. Now, I want to get onto this whole environment thing and other stuff like that. I promise you, all the people that are talking to you about farming and fishing, I would say about 97 to 98% of them grew up in a city. There isn't much work in the countryside. Farms mop up people. I know people who work on farms who can't read and write, but they know how to bloody drive a tractor and they know how to work. They wouldn't get employment. You then have to get from your village to your job. So if the bus breaks down or it doesn't come, you don't work that day, and then they get rid of you. This is what the Industrial Revolution did. It took people out of the countryside and shoved them into cities. It was estimated right up to the end of the Second World War, 10 families owned 80% of the housing in Manchester. Salford was the original city. Manchester was a town. They were separate. But it was better and cheaper to send first the canal and then the railway in. Honestly, that Liverpool to Manchester line on the railway was incredible. It cost millions and made people billions. So farming is important. It is important. It's where your milk comes from, everything. If we got rid of farming, and we have got to start listening to some of these people. I've got no problem with farming, but it's the people that come along and talk about it and they haven't got a clue. I grew up in the countryside and there wasn't much work. Luckily, the city had it, so I had to get on a train or go elsewhere. It's hard. Countryside life is very, very hard. You know, as I said, a lot of villages, a lot of these villages in Cornwall, incredible amounts of unemployment. And incredible amounts of people, and I tell you now, drug addiction, alcoholism, all of that lot is rampant out there in the countryside. It is. It is. It is so hard a life to live, and we need to come together. As you know, we just had the May Day workers, and we need to come together and we need to talk and sit down and get this together. And yes, they are being overfarmed, but I'm telling you now, we always blame the farmer and the fisherman. It's not their fault, it's our government's fault. The government makes the rules and regulations. The government makes the prices, not the farmers, not the fishermen. We've got to stop blaming people and blame the right people. Your government, if you voted Tory, Liberal, Green, whatever, in the last general election, you cannot complain to me about fuck all, because you're getting what you voted for. All of this that's happening now, you voted for it. How did I know the Tories were going to fuck me over? I've known since fucking Thatcher got into power in the late 70s. I've known it. I find it disgusting that people are working class and they vote Tory. We had a chance and we've blown it, and now we need to get back. And we need to step back. We need to talk to the environmental lot and say, wind it in. Because I'm promising you, there's a whirlwind coming. There's a whirlwind coming. Two things, just one thing, one thing. All this government's got to do tomorrow morning, 450 of them will decide for 69 million people, should Britain be a member of the Human Rights Act? I don't think it's going to be a referendum. I think they're going to vote for it. And you will be screwed. I promise you. They're going to go down the refugee thing. They're going to go down the unemployment thing. They're going to go, well, we're out of the Human Rights Act. We don't have to help these refugees. Oh, yeah, I'll tick that box. It's the human rights thing. If we do have a referendum, it will be another Brexit. Full of bullshit. Peace and out.